All right, 187 students, good job getting access to the textbook. And so now what we want to do is go to Pearson and let me walk around what it looks like, especially for those who are probably new to Mymathlab. So what that interface looks like, what buttons are important, etc. So let me go ahead and share my screen. What you're looking at is our Canvas homepage. Over to the left, there is a link to Mymathlab. Right? And then when you follow that, it's going to ask you to open it in a new tab. Keep in mind, Pearson and Canvas are separate entities, okay? And that kind of demonstrates that real nicely. You'll sign in. And when you sign in, what you'll do is have a list of your courses. You might only have one. It might be this class. I have several, but find the one we're after. There's you guys. Click on it, and what you're going to be sent to is the home screen. Now, this is my home screen. So let me go ahead and go to the View Student home screen. And this is what you should see when you log in. So you're going to see kind of a 2-week outlay. When things really get started, what you'll probably see are some little green dots. Those dots will show some things, some assignments that are coming up and that are due. Although you can see it down here, past due assignments, current and completed assignments. That'll start queuing up as we get through the semester. But before we do anything else, I highly suggest that in this Welcome Mymathlab, right below it, there's a link that says browser check. Hit the browser check, and that's going to check your browser, your plugins, make sure that everything on your computer or your cell phone, however you're accessing this, has everything you need. It's telling me that my versions are correct, so I'm good to go. If your versions were not correct, you would need to update them. So there's the course home and what it looks like. To access your assignments, I always find it, rather than this from the home screen, I've always found it easier to hit the assignment key itself. And what you're going to see is all the homework that's currently assigned. So right now, what I highly suggest you do before you do any of this stuff is walk through the Mymathlab orientation. That'll also kind of give you a hands-on experience of working with the interface. You're going to see me using it in a moment, but I highly, especially if you're new, do the Mymathlab orientation. They'll talk about how to plot points, how to answer questions, both with bubbles and with templates, all that good stuff. So make sure you go through that. But I'm going to go to a homework problem right away. So let's just go ahead and go. By the way, you'll see that there's 9 review sections. So that's 2 weeks worth of homework basically coming up to get us ready. That's how much math we need to have behind us to get ready just to take trig and learn more pre-calculus. So hopefully this review goes really well. If you're struggling mightily with it, that's a suggestion. You might want to drop back to Math 151 and get all this stuff in more detail. But let me just go ahead. Let's start with R1. So what you're looking at is the review assignment for R1. You can start at it linearly, right? Or you can just kind of pick where you want to start. How about I start with question 10? And what opens up is a new browser with the question. I'm going to go ahead and expand that. So it's asking me, list all the numbers from the given set that are natural, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So choose the one that are natural numbers. So basically, all right, I'm going to get some things wrong here. Right. I'm going to say that C is a natural number. It's not. But if I think that's the answer and I check it, what it's going to do is tell me that that's incorrect. Natural numbers are numbers used for counting. All right. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was obviously wrong and it gave me a little bit of a hint. So I'm going to go back and try it out. Right. So it looks like 6 definitely is a counting number, a natural number. So I'll check my answer and it tells me I got it right. Right. And then this is a multi-part B. It's now asking me, now that we have the natural numbers, what are the whole numbers? Right. So your whole numbers are basically your natural numbers plus 0. So 0's in there and 6 is in there. Right. Check my answer and I got it right. All right. And then since it's a multi-step, it's now asking me for the integers. All right. And on and on and on. Okay. So let me go ahead and stop there for a moment and show you some other ways that you can get some help. There's a help me solve this button. If you press that, it actually kind of walks through the problem, right? Select the definition of a natural number. So if you're struggling with that, right, we've already kind of saw that definition. And so it kind of goes through with you, right, the definitions you're going to need in order to finish the homework problem. So, right, so there's the definition. Now that we know that definition, I can come in here and mark the answer right. So the help me solve this is a nice button because it literally takes the problem you're currently working on and kind of walks you through it step by step so you can finish it. If you don't want the problem to do it for you, you can view an example and it'll actually, without the interface like the last problem, it kind of walks you through the problem. All right. So without, I kind of like the help me solve this because there's more interface and it kind of makes you think. Here you're just kind of reading, but you know, that's a worthwhile effort. If the help me solve this or the view an example is not working, you can go get more help. And right, what usually opens up, there's the top key, there's a video. The video that perhaps will open up in Mymathlab is made by Pearson, not me, but it's probably a secondary perspective. Unfortunately, I picked a problem that doesn't have a video, but you could also go to the textbook. This will take you directly to the textbook and the page numbers that goes over the problem that you're currently on, or you can ask my instructor, right? And this opens up an email to me. You can put a comment, I get it, and it'll tell me what problem you're on. Your comment will tell me what your question is, and I can either work with you via email on that, right? Or we set up a Zoom call, or I might just take this question into a class meeting, especially if everybody's been asking the same question, and we'll take a look at it as a class. So there's another resource as well. Let me go ahead and close this. I'm going to leave, even though I'm not completely done. And you'll notice the question, since I got it partially right, there's a check mark. And since I didn't finish it, there's an X. So it's telling me that that problem is not completely done yet, okay? So let me go to another problem. Let me just jump all the way to 19. And problem 19 is basically asking me to use the number line shown to determine whether -6 is less than or to the left of -5 is a true statement. Well, here's -6 and here's -5. It definitely is to the left or smaller than, right? That's the key. So I'm going to say true, right? And it's going to tell me that I am right. Okay, let's go to the next problem and see if we get more help. Yeah, so this one actually has a video that's involved. So if you're struggling with this type of problem, you can go to the textbook, ask me, or watch a video that Pearson made. All right, so that would be a thing that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and get this one wrong. Okay, I know that 4 is to the right of -3, but I just want to get something wrong so you can see that right. All right, so similar question, right? So I can start getting it right. You guys basically have 5 attempts to get a problem right. Obviously, right now, I've used one of those 5 attempts, so I have 4 more to eventually get it right, although it did give me a different problem. All right, so so that kind of keeps the increasing learning going on. And again, if you're struggling, you can either help me solve it, which is interactive, walking you through it, right? You can view an example and just walk through it, right? Or you can get more help. Okay, let me close that. And what you can currently see, right? So check marks are good. I got it right. X's are not right. So I, can have an opportunity to go back and correct them as long as I stay within those 5. So course, home, and assignments. Eventually, you want to check your student gradebook. When you do that, what it's going to do is give you a running percentage of how much homework you've completed. At this time, with the work I've done, I've only completed 4.76%. What I'm going to do on my end is I'm going to basically take that percent, multiply it by 400 to get your homework grade. But you can basically do that yourself, just so you can kind of see what your homework score will be. I will personally update your homework score every week on Friday. So that should start kicking in as we get more into the semester. But you can obviously check it yourself and go from there. And then if you ever want access to the textbook, there was access to the questions themselves, but you either press the e-text contents and you can view it e-text from the course. All right. I think the difference between this is one is an app that is on your cell phone and the other is just for your computer. So I'm going to open the computer one up and you can go anywhere you want in the ebook. So this is the literal textbook itself. So when it opens up, sorry, my internet's a little slow. What you will see is a table of contents. We're currently doing review and we are working in R1. All right. And so that basically gives you what the textbook would look like. All right. So eventually, as I go through this, you'll see some examples that match the ones that we were kind of working on. This is about sets. I didn't do a problem on sets, but we were working with natural and whole numbers, right? So, oops, I skipped it. So there's basically your definition for rational numbers, integers, et cetera, et cetera. I think I even skipped it more. So the natural numbers coming up, right? Yeah. So there's somewhere in there somewhere, right? So what's a natural number? Uh, what's a rational number? What's irrational, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So there they are. So there's their definitions. There's a definition: natural numbers, whole numbers. So some of you, might like that traditional view of just reading a textbook before you do stuff, and you have access to that. So let me go ahead and close the text, go back to our main menu. Oops. Oops, I went too far back. Let me open things up and just give you a real quick summary. So again, there's your interface. As you can see, there's more buttons over here. Experiment on your own, but I don't require you guys to do that. So your big ones will be the course home, right? Your general outlay, the assignment page, right? Which shows you all the assignments, both your student grade book to keep your running percentage, and then the e-text. All right, so let me go ahead and stop sharing. So there's your walk around for Pearson MyMathLab. One final comment that I'll make is the Pearson homework deadlines are similar to the guidelines for the Canvas guided notes, with one big difference. The Canvas guided notes are due Monday nights at midnight, and those deadlines are hard. If you miss them, you're going to get a 0. But the MyMathLab homework are what I call soft. Even so, don't panic if you don't get all the homework done on Monday night. I know you guys get busy and maybe all you could do is finish the videos. The homework could always be done if it's past due. Just click on the assignment. It might ask you if you want to improve your homework score. Just say yes, and you can always access homework. As long as you have, within your 5 attempts per question, you can go back and continue to improve your score. So that's a little bit of a difference. So don't panic too much if you can't get the homework done on time. Just, get your guided notes squared away, and then you can always go back and do the homework during past due. So you have that access all the way to the end of the semester. So you can always improve your homework score. All right, so there's your MyMathLab walkthrough. More videos coming soon. I hope you guys have started your review. I'll talk with you.